y'all, what's up? And welcome to the Pause Pod where rest is required. My name is Kimberly Dedine, Rounds with Divine, and I am the founder of Pure Chemistry, where we are the missing element to your restful aromatic experience. And listen, we are here to help you press pause, breathe deep, and reclaim the rhythm of rest that you were designed to have. Look, in a world that glorifies the grind, we're shifting the narrative over here because the true success starts with stillness. Being still. I had to say that slow, so y'all got it. Being still. Through real conversations, intentional reflection, and a hint of scent, because we can't forget our fragrances. We are going to explore how to integrate rest into your everyday life, okay? And without guilt. Because we ain't got time for that. So listen, light your candles, light your favorite Pure Chemistry fragrance, settle in, and let's embrace the pause because your next breakthrough starts with rest, okay? So listen, today, our topic today is resting in transition. And I had to get my girl. I said, listen, T, come get on the Pause Pod with me. Let's have this conversation. And of course, she was like, girl, yeah. And so we've been talking about a couple of different things over the last few weeks. And we kind of just naturally landed on the topic of transition. So we said we got to call this resting in transition. So before we get into the conversation, I'm going to kick it over to my girl T so she can introduce herself. T, what's up?
Hey y'all, my name is Tomeka Carter. I'm a motivational speaker and author. Well, future author, but I'm an author, y'all. And I'm just glad to be here. I'm glad to be in the presence because one of those things that I have learned on my journey is to have that rest because it always wouldn't be in my life. You know, I didn't have a family growing up in the rest mode. So I had to learn these things in my life. In my transition with God, learning how to heal, learning how to be a part of the everyday hustle and bustle of life. I had to learn how to be in the presence with God. And as God lead me, I'll go and I'll flow as he leads me, you know, in every area of my life, not just my spiritual, but my natural as well. So those are the things that I'm embracing and learning even more now today. So
This why she was the right one, because she go right into it. You don't even have to ask her no questions. She be ready. And come on, future author. I can't wait for the book to come. She been talking about this book, so I can't wait for it to drop.
I mean, this book is going to be phenomenal because it's about my life. It's about my transition. It's about my family. It's about relationships. It's about friendships. It's about all these different aspects that I have endured in my life. You know, the negative points, but also the points where God had to show me a more positive way about my life. Because a lot of times we have these things like we like to point the finger. You did it. You did it. You did it. You know, and we forget about that we played roles in these relationships in our life, you know, and God was showing me over time, you know, being in that rest with him over time, that you had some wrongs in some of the things that happened in your life. Maybe not as a small child, but growing up from your teenager to your adult years, yeah, you did some stuff, you know. So he had to show me that. And when he showed me, I'm like, okay, God, so how do I work around this? How do I do this? You know, and I had to go talk to some people that I hurt, and I had to do some things, you know, far as like journaling and, you know, just taking some me time, because in the me times with God, I'm talking about, baby, it be so powerful because God gonna come through and show out every time. And if he don't do it right then, he gonna come out and show out down the line, because we can't always expect that God gonna say it right then and there. Okay, because he ain't no microwave type of God now. He's the on time God, so he gonna come right when you need him. And them pieces don't come together and it's gonna make sense. And you're gonna be like, what? God, for real? For real?
Girl, that be me on a weekly or daily, but like, what? Just talking about this? What?
Like blowing your man every time when he says something. Cause girl, because I like that God just puts us in order, and He helps us to see things in a better light than we would by ourselves. Because if we
Mm-hmm.
thought by ourselves, we would jack up a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff be chaos and confused. It'd be like a tornado, but He know how to stop that tornado and let peace be still.
Listen, look, I am. See, we forget the questions. Listen, because I knew this was gonna happen. And I said, didn't we say this before we got on here and started recording? I said, we just go flow. But I am, like some years ago, I was like, God, am I ever going to get to the point where I'm like, forget what I was thinking. I'm glad you made me wait. And just recently, I'll say within the last year, I finally got to a point where I was like, I'm glad he made me wait. I'm glad he made me wait. Because if anything or everything that I've been praying about, or even the things that he's been telling me that's going to happen, happened now or before now, I wouldn't have been ready. I wouldn't have been ready, and I would have fumbled so hard. So listen, you done got us started already.
I would have jacked up some stuff too now. Because first of all, in the process of me healing in the beginning, I was so paranoid. I thought everybody was against me. You against me, he against me, she against me, everybody against me because I don't know who to trust. And it was the situation I was in, with my ex and everything like that. He died or whatever, and my family was so involved in it. And then I was like, oh my God, are you serious? Like, and then their family following me, chasing me around, and then with my family, it just looking like, what's going on here? But at the same time, down the road, I understand a lot of more things that I didn't understand then. I'm even having that rest with my family and God, because I got to understand that people ain't going to do it how I think they're going to do it. And some things, didn't work out how I thought it should work out. But in the midst of everything, God sent me an answer to something, because at the time I wasn't saved. When I was in this relationship, I wasn't saved, and I was out just doing me to the fullest. I wasn't talking about no prayer, no word, no nothing. I was just doing me. So in that process of seeing what it looked like when someone has a stiff neck towards God, and when I saw what really happened, I was like, oh my God, first of all, it woke me up. Right. But on top of that, it made me understand that it's very important to follow the way of God for your life and really go on that purpose with God, because sometimes we'll just go and just do what we want to do and do what we think we do, but we didn't think about nobody else, because God got our lives set for so many people, even our families that will be affected by our decisions, because we don't look at it in that time of going through those things, those deep dark secrets and everything like that. We don't look at those times and say that I got to think about somebody else. We think about me, and God got me out of the point of just thinking about myself and thinking about what impact am I going to make on the future, to the people around me, to my children, to my family, my mother. My mother is here, and God had to help me see her, because if I wouldn't have had did the things that I was supposed to do as a daughter, I would have messed up my relationship with my mom, and I would have went my own way and not had that relationship that God wanted me to have with my mom, and honoring her, and who she is in my life. So that rest helped me to understand all of those different things in my life, even how to be a parent, because we don't have no blueprint to be a no parent or no daughter or no cousin or no auntie or no nothing, none of that. We don't have no blueprint. So I had to really search for the blueprint in the Word of God, and also from God talking to me, and telling me some things and explaining some things to me, and one of the things for me is really getting through those relationships with my dad, because that was a major impact on my life, Having that with my dad and not being able to know why because he was gone. And I was like, wow. So now I want to know, and I have nobody to know it from because I wasn't really connected to my family, and my dad is gone. So it was just like so many situations that Lord, I need the answers to these, and I need it expeditiously. And you're like, I need it
Wait,
now, God. But
so hold on. So then in that moment, right, all this stuff was happening and you said
yeah,
God had to basically disrupt
yeah,
what you were doing and what was going on. Like, what was
yeah,
that pivotal moment for you to be like, oh, hold on a second, I have to slow down, I gotta pause, I gotta fall back because God is trying to show me something and I really need to pay attention. Like, what was that pivotal moment where it was like, okay, press pause, pay attention?
mm-hmm. You know what? I think it was the moment when I had my mental breakdown.
Okay.
For me, it was that time because now I understood that I put too much on myself.
Okay.
I didn't put enough on God. What he said, cast all your cares on him because he cares for you, right? I wasn't putting those cares on God. I was putting them cares on myself. So I was holding bags on my spirit, on my natural body, tearing myself down. And when I went nuts, it like literally went crazy. I understood then I got to do something and I
Yeah.
got to do it now, and that was my surrendering point when I surrendered everything to God. And I said, God, take me on this journey with you, and you teach me of you, and you teach me of myself, because
See,
now
that's
it's time. And
you can't keep going how you was going. You can't be bag ladies forever.
yeah, how Erica Badu and her bag lady, and I'm carrying all these bags, talking
Yeah.
about, I'm
We
here,
thought we was cute with all these bags. We
all
not
these
cute with
bags,
all these.
suitcases and all kind of
Girl.
stuff, carrying. Girl, no, that is not the vibe.
And I think it's so interesting. You know how people be, well, I don't want to speak for people, so I'm gonna speak for myself. I don't know about you. Have you ever was like, I don't ever want to get to the point where God had to do something super drastic, like my life might be in danger or something to get my attention. But
Yeah.
that's the exact moment where he got my attention. And it's like, dang, like,
So
I know for me, it was for me back in 2020 when the pandemic popped off.
I think
And
that was for everybody.
listen, I was terrified. And I was terrified because I got the OG vid. I got the OG vid in July. Like everything started happening, shutting down in March. I got the OG vid in July. And I remember I was in this back room in our bedroom. Me and God was going at it. Like going at it. I was like, now hold on a second. I was out here getting my life together. I was going to therapy. I was doing this. I was doing that. I was finally getting to a point I was doing this. And now everybody out here talking about they were reporting a death toll every single day. They were even reporting a death toll in our meetings at work because they sent us home to work from home. So every single time we got on a meeting, they were reporting a death toll. So death ain't nothing but in my face. And now I got the OG vid and I don't know what to do. And I'm trying to make myself get up and move. And I was back there isolated and my husband had slept in a complete other room. And it was like, he wouldn't even let the dog come back there with me. And I'm just like, I'm all alone. Like, God, hold on a second. And I was literally pacing. I remember pacing the floor saying, God, this is not how it's supposed to end. I thought I had more stuff to do. What's up? What we doing? And it was a constant mental thing for 11 days because I can't really talk to nobody because it hurt me to really try to breathe deeply. So I had shallow breaths. I couldn't cry because it made my breathing worse. I couldn't talk to nobody because again, my breathing. So I had to text and it was just like, that was one of the worst things ever. And I'm like, First of all, how did I get this? By being nice and helping somebody out, and now I got this, and God, this can't be it for me. And so I said, you know what, God, all right, if you carry me through this, help me through this, you got me. Like, I have nothing else. Like, this is literally knocking on what the people saying deaf door. I ain't got no other choice. So you heal me, you got me. He healed me, and I'm like, I mean, I can't go back on my word. You saved my life. Like,
Period, right?
no other choice. So now it's like, but in those 11 days where it felt like I was about to lose my mind. Like, but all I could do was rest. That's literally all I could do was rest.
So since you said something about COVID, right? So I got to tell you what happened before COVID to me, right? So, okay, in my spirit, I kept hearing rest. And I'm like, God want me to rest. And I'm telling my mama this, right? And then it's like, we was going to this church at the time, and she was like asking the question to one of the men, and he was like a pastor or something like that. And she was like, what do it means to rest? And he said, it's not what everybody think it to be. It's not the rest to, sit still. It's the rest to rest in the presence of God and know that he got everything, right? So in the midst of that, I was like, okay, I mean, I understand it, but I keep hearing God say, it's time to rest. Like, I heard it big in my spirit. This is way before they said COVID was breaking out. All of that, I just didn't understand what was going on inside of me. And I said, God, what do you mean about rest? Because it ain't sounding like what everybody's talking about. And he was like, he didn't really tell me. And I was like, oh God, I was flustered because I'm like, everybody's making me feel delusional. Like, I don't know what I'm talking about. So then 2019 come around. Okay, all this is going on in 2019. Then around my birthday or something, like right after my birthday, said COVID breakout. And they shut down the whole nation. They shut down everywhere. I was like, oh my God, that's what really helped me to trust in God. When God told me to rest and he shut down the whole nation from this thing, the whole nation, and I knew I heard what I heard, and God made it happen. Well, not saying God made COVID or anything, but he made us rest.
Yes.
If we didn't learn nothing else from COVID, we should have learned that the main point of everything was to rest.
Yes.
But no, we went right back in full effect work soon as everything came back up. And we still didn't understand what God was doing in that time. So we got to understand it, because even me, I didn't say COVID serious at all. I'm like, I'm just doing me. I'm out doing, driving around. I ain't supposed to be driving around, but I'm driving around. And then when I really took it serious is when my mom got sick with COVID, and I thought I was gonna lose her. Mm-hmm. I thought I was gonna lose her because she got really sick and she couldn't move. And I didn't know what to do. I'm like, oh God, this is crazy. I don't know what to do, because we all had COVID, but she had it the worst because she had pneumonia too. And I didn't want to lose my mom. And I'm calling my family like it's something going on with my mom. And I had to call the hospital. We had to call 911 to come get her because she couldn't even get dressed to go in the car so I could take her to the hospital. I had to rest in that, because I had to understand that no matter what everybody was saying, that my mom was going to pull through. It was some people that were saying she going to die. Oh my God. My auntie said some crazy stuff. She going to die because she was smoking way back 20 years ago. I'm like, what? Lord, I know this is insane. God, what is these talking about? What is these people talking about? Because my mom ain't going nowhere. And she's still here today. Yeah.
I had a whole conversation with her the other day. Look, poured into me. But that right there, what you said, you gotta also be careful. You know how they say when God gives you a vision, it wasn't a conference call. You can't tell everybody everything. That also goes with your moment of rest and what God tell you to do, because everybody ain't gonna understand what he's doing. through that and through that transition, because if you think about it, that was a transition for setting us up for what he's trying to do. Well, not trying, but what he's doing. Everybody can't, it can't be a conference call for everybody, because everybody don't get it, everybody don't understand. And if you come over here talking all that yickety yak on something God told me to do, we gonna have a problem. So I'ma just not, I can't respectfully, I can't include you on what's going on over here. And you gonna have to be okay with that, because I'm okay. Because you can't afford to have nobody speak something against what you have faith to know that God is gonna do, and everything is gonna be all right. And God told you it's gonna be all right.
It was. And it is. And it is. Because that little lady be talking to me every day. You know, and you know what? I'm not even saying for the fact, like, I feel terrible. You know, I feel bad for the people that wasn't able to get through it, you know, with their loved ones. But I'm telling you, that was a scare for me. And that was the scare that, okay, girl, like, what we gonna do? We gotta do something, you know, we gotta follow through with God. And God came through with her. You know, next thing I know, she was getting better. Like, after, you know, she had to go to a doctor because she had that thing at the hospital. She was like, "Come get me now!" Like, "Come get me now!" They chained me up on against the like the little pole or something. They were chaining up. She said, "Come get me now, because I'm not doing this." And she could talk to her doctor. Her doctor gave her some medicine, started making her feel better. This lady was cooking like every day. Y'all see why I'm getting chunky. Like, I got chunky because she was cooking every day. Big old meals.
Mama could burn.
Yes, big old meals, you know. And I'm just like, oh, okay. But then, you know, before then, for me, I had my time of doing that, you know, where I feel like, God, I feel like if I don't get my life together, you're going to kill me. Like, I'm gonna die. I ain't gonna say God gonna kill me, but it was gonna be a situation that happened that I kept feeling it, and it felt like death was next to me, type of situation. I said, I gotta get my life together. I can't wait no more, you know, because I was so caught up in my own thing that I was waiting. But God was like, no,
Run that back. You said what? You were caught up in your own thing,
and I couldn't wait no more. I couldn't wait no more in doing my own thing, and I had to listen to what God was saying. You know, it was like fire shut up in my bone type of situation. It was like, girl, bye. You better come on and come go this way. You got this way or this way. It wasn't even you got the other way. You got this way or this way. That was it. And I was like, oh man, because I kept feeling like, okay, if I die, then I'm leaving my kids behind.
Yeah.
I'm leaving them, and then I'm leaving my mama to deal with me dying, and then having to raise my kids. And I said, I can't do that. I can't leave her like that. I can't leave my kids like that. So, you know, God got me up, and I've been running since. And not even in the way that I'm running away from God, but I'm more so running towards God, because most of my life I ran away from God. Right? I ran away from the car. I ran away from, you know, the words that he was saying. I ran away from purpose. I ran away from everything that he was telling me to do. And at this time, this was a run towards him, because it's just like, you know, how we sit with him in that time of rest, like how we sit at his feet, how we just let him minister to our souls. And I had to do that so I could come through. So I can get over the, you know, the mental anguish, the anxiety, the depression, the stress, the chronic stress at that, you know, the PTSD, all those things God was just working out in me, and I didn't understand when he was doing it at the time. I just didn't understand. I'm like, why are you doing this to me? Why are you doing this? Leave me alone. Yelling at God. Yelling at God like, God, we got to find something else, because this ain't working for me. But it was the process that I needed. You know, I think of God like that parent that knows better than you know, and you got to sit in that presence of just know I know what I'm doing. Just know that I got your best interest at heart. And I think a lot of times we got to activate more so in that than we do in our own will, because sometimes our own will ain't lining up with God, and God got to redirect us. But a lot of times we're moving so much to the point we don't let God redirect us, because we're going where we want to go, in that direction we want to, working all these jobs, 2, 3, 4, 5.
There it is.
We minding people's business. The family that got this going on. God just wants you to stay right here and what He got going on. All that type of stuff.
And when you pull it back. When you pull it back and you sit and be still, you start to notice, like, people, that's like a drug, right? People getting addicted off the high of, oh, somebody need me up, because that was me. I loved to be needed. And so, oh, they need me over here, so let me go over here and do this. Oh, they need me over here, so let me go. And meanwhile, I'm deteriorating and not even realizing it. My back hurt, having headaches, can't sleep at all. Racing thoughts, can't go to bed at night because I got so many different things on my mind. I'm worrying about this person, I'm worrying about that person, and it's just like, hold on a second. And that's when that moment came where he literally had to make me be still.
Yes.
So not only that I know He's God, but I had to watch other people be okay without me putting my hands in the situation.
Yes. But the pressure from that, Kim, the pressure. Oh my God, you can't do anything. Oh my
Nothing.
God.
And you sitting here like, what? Everybody's okay without me doing anything?
Yes.
So it's not about me then. Nah, fool, it's not about it. Haven't been about you. What are you talking about?
And boo-hoo tear. Ooh,
girl, heartbroken. Talk about heartbroken. What? Now I'm okay. Y'all live
taking care of everybody, and you gonna do me like this?
Listen. I had to learn the hard way, and so getting into that right now. Oh, don't ask me now. Don't get me. I love to take a good old rest now. Don't listen. Sure. It's nothing for me to, do not disturb. Okay, I'm not texting. I'm not calling. I'm gonna leave my phone in the kitchen. I got this new iPhone now, so I don't talk about me, y'all. But I had to transition from an Android to an iPhone, and the notifications on the iPhone is different from an Android. I don't see everything like I used to on my Android, so that's even less of a distraction for me, which is great because I don't see everything. You can't tell me. Girl, but it was tough. It was a tough habit to break.
Girl, I didn't got to the point that I could look at the phone ring and I don't answer. I'd be like, oh, they'll be all right. I'll talk to them later. It's like that thing that God had me going through, right? Where I stayed away from everybody for so long to the point that I got used to it. So even now, when God bringing them back, I'm so used to being alone that even then it's just like it's easy for me to block everything out my mind now.
Yes,
it's like 1 to 3 now. It's like oh okay. Well, I pray for you. It's just like that. Like I give it to God. That's about it. That's about all I can do.
That's the line right there. And then but then you get some of the ones where you're like, can we pray now? You're like, oh, you want to pray now? Okay, hold on. Let me get my mind together real quick. And it's just like, but you had a time where it's like, like you said, you've been away for so long. It's like, oh, okay, no, now I have to be engaged now. I have to pay attention. So listen, anybody that's watching this, give us grace, okay? Because we're getting back to being engaged and being out there because God been working on it. I've been working on this, but we gonna pray though. We for real go pray. Either way,
I got you on the prayer now. If you want me to do something, I don't know if I got you on that, but I got you on the prayer side, and I'm gonna put you in there. And it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be good. Don't worry.
It's gonna get up there. It's gonna get up there.
Because prayer got me through, so I know it's gonna get you through.
Exactly. Yo, look, so
he may not be there when you want to, but he'll be there right on time.
All right, he's gonna be on time. Don't even worry about that. I'm afraid, and he gonna get there when he want to get there. Don't worry about it. It's gonna be all right.
In the meantime, between time, you just be patient.
Right. Have faith.
Yeah.
Keep your hope up. Everything. He got you. He got you.
Yeah. But that's that practice to that rest, though. You know, when you learn to just flow with God, and you learn when He don't move, you don't go into things on your own, just thinking that you're supposed to do it. You know, you sitting with God and you really doing the work. Okay, you ain't got that. Okay, well, I'm gonna keep working on this right here. What you got me going on, God? It ain't saying don't go do nothing. It just said not on that thing right now, because maybe He gonna give you the pieces along the way to do that thing right there. So even for me, you know, doing the book and everything like that, I didn't have all the pieces up front. You know, it took some time for those pieces to come. It took some time for me to understand what God wanted me to do, because all I know is He wanted me to do something. I didn't know what that looked like. I didn't even know how to begin to do it, because I was like, oh God, I ain't never did this before. And I had to wait on those pieces, but I didn't not do anything while I was waiting on those pieces. I was doing ministry work. I was talking to women. I was, you know, being a mother, of course. And then I had to do some me stuff. And then I had to be a daughter. And I had to be all these things in the middle of waiting on God to give me those pieces to the projects that He's told me about, you know, and writing that stuff down and really talking to Him and making sure you're doing that stuff. Like Johanna, she was a prime example of her telling us that ask God questions and let Him answer those questions. And don't just ask Him questions and don't listen to Him. Listen to Him, because this is the moments that you really need, and it's gonna help you when you get farther along in the things that He got you to do. It's gonna help you.
Oh, that's good. So then, Tomeka, what do you like to do for rest? Like, how do you rest specifically?
Well, for me, I like to go to the water and I like to be in nature. Like those are, for me, I feel like those are the best rest moments, because it's like you just get a sense of that peace from the atmosphere. Mm-hmm. And not to say, like, I know there's some people that worship the atmosphere and everything like that. I ain't saying I'm worshiping it, but I'm saying that's the moments in time where I just feel like, I'm sorry, I'm trying to get my charger, y'all. I just feel like, you know, that's where my peace come from. That's where, you know, my peace come from God. But those moments where I sit and I look at the beauty that God has put on the earth, you know, looking at the waters, looking at the trees. And then another thing, I like the journal. Mm-hmm. I like the journal, and I talk to God. I cry because my tears are prayers. So I cry and I said, God, why? And I boo-hoo tears and I do all that. That right there is a release for me, because I get to let the pressure off, and I'm not stuck in, oh God, do it for me. No, God, we need some answer now.
Look, you got to get gritty sometimes. It is okay to cry. That's the thing. I think a lot of, I would say a lot of women forget that. Well, anybody really. I don't want to just narrow it down to women, but a lot of people forget that tears is a release. Tears is healing. Tears is an expression of your natural body when you can't find the words to say something to get it off your chest. So if you gotta cry, release that. Yes. Yes. And we gotta stop holding on to all this stuff and go ahead and release it. We're not meant to carry this load by ourselves. Like you said, it says in the word, cast our cares upon Him. Cast our cares at His feet. Come to me, all you who are tired
Yes, heavy
and
laden.
weary, and you're
Yes,
carrying the heavy burdens. He's gonna
yes,
give you rest.
yes.
But you said that your and it made me think about Psalms 23 when you said how you like to rest and relax. That's literally Psalms
That
23.
was my go-to, like for real. Like Psalms 23, Psalms 51, Psalms 119, and Psalms 91. Those are all my go-tos. Like when I'm feeling some type of way, yes, I'm in that. And I'm in deep in that. Yes, honey.
For the ones that don't want to look it up real quick, Psalms 23 is the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me to lie down
Yes, in green
in
pastures.
green pastures.
Yes.
Okay? He makes
He
me
leads me beside the still water.
still waters. He
Yes.
renews my soul.
Yes, period.
He makes me lie down. How
Yes.
many more verses do we need where he talks about us resting? Like
Yes.
legit.
Period.
We gotta stop skipping this step and resting. You know what God told me one day? He told me it was sometime last year. And last year was a healing year for me all the way around, just a healing year all the way around. And that's when he kind of started speaking this rest thing to me. He was actually speaking to me a long time ago, but it was getting louder and louder last year. And he
Yeah.
told me rest, rest, rest equals renewed energy equals smooth transition. Renewed energy equals smooth transition, which spells out rest. And so you can't have a smooth transition into your next without resting from the place where you're coming from. And if
Yes.
we think about it, and we had this conversation the other day, if you think about it, we were talking about the blueprint God left for us in Genesis about resting and
Yes.
how the rest was included in his plan, in his 7-day plan. If you think
Yes.
about it, they say the world was usually when you talk to somebody, you'll hear them say the world was created in 7 days, but God rested on the seventh day. The rest was a part of the plan. It wasn't separate from the plan, it was part
Yes.
of the plan. And so if God can divinely orchestrate that blueprint since the foundation of the world, why do we skip out on resting? Why
And
do we
why
think
do we think we greater than God? If he had that blueprint, why we think we supposed to keep going and going and going and go? And God, he worked 6 days and rest on the seventh. Why we think we supposed to be different from that? I'm
hello?
trying to figure it out.
Are we okay? Or hello? Are we okay? And
I'm
then
just special.
just a little because I'm sitting and it breaks my heart, and I think that's intentionally why God had me slow down so I can see what's happening. And I'm watching people overwork themselves, trying to be overachievers. They're trying to do, let me do one more task, let me do one more contract, let me do, stretching themselves thin to where they don't have room for the things that God actually wants to float their way, the promises that he has, like, and he might give them something here or there, but it goes up to a point where it's not sustainable because we done gotten this whole system of not resting so we can go further than what we came. And if we don't rest, allow our bodies, our minds, our natural biological systems, if we don't allow them things to rest, then we can't rejuvenate in the way that we need to rejuvenate. Our cells can't multiply. And I had to stop myself. I was going to use a word that I didn't feel like explaining. They can't regenerate. There we go. They can't regenerate like they need to. They can't work. Our cells can't get rid of the bad stuff like they need to. Our organs, like, we have to rest. We have to learn how to rest and not touch everything and not have our hands in everything and not be worried about this person. We gotta put those boundaries in place just like God did. And
Mhm.
even when he created the world, he didn't just create all the way through. There were pauses in between each day. If there
Yeah.
weren't no pauses in between each day, then we wouldn't have, okay, the first day this was created. Then the second day this was created. Then the third day, he okay, let's just be real. Okay, he's big God. He's big OG. He really could have just created everything in one day and been done.
It'd be like boom.
And been done. But he was so intentional to set that foundation, to set that rhythm of creation so we can follow
Mhm.
his footsteps.
Period.
Schedule out what you're going to do. Do this for day one. This is all you're going to do for day one. You sit back,
Yeah.
you look at the progress you made. He called it good and waited till the next day to get back up and go back at it. So I am the rest for the transition to go to the next is big talk. Is big talk because it's
Yeah.
so necessary.
You know what? I learned this too in my transition of being homeless and everything too. So, the first place that we went to, it was just so tedious. We just like always in the hustle and the bustle trying to find somewhere to go until the end of the day to come back, right? And then go again and pack up everything again. So we went through a week of that, right? And someone had brought to us about this place called Atlanta Mission Restoration. Um, so the first day we took my mom because my mom started to get sick in the place that we was at because her body wasn't resting properly, and then on
Mm-hmm.
top of that it was super cold at night, so her body, she was literally getting sick all over again. I'm like, oh my god, I don't want to see this again because I already had the situation before with COVID. So we went to this place, right, and she was the one that got accepted the first day because I had to come back the next day. So my mom, I was just glad that she got somewhere to the point that she can, just rest and get some warmth and everything like that, and just be, in that place, right? And my mom,
Mm-hmm.
she's like, I really want y'all to be here, and I was like, it's gonna happen, mama. Because she was like crying because she was like, I didn't want y'all to go back because she know how it was for all of us. Girl, I got up at I think I was up at 4 o'clock in the morning, way before anybody ever got. I couldn't even sleep. Girl, I was there, like I'm about to be there, and God opened the door for me. And the first day when we got into the restoration house, the first day they said rest. Don't
Wow.
worry about nothing, just rest. You just go up to your room and you just you get you some rest because you have to rest so for this journey ahead of you. And the journey ahead of me, I didn't understand that they was going to help me to understand myself a lot more than what I am, because I think a lot of people, when they associate homelessness, they associate with a person that ain't working, a person that is not doing enough, right? But a lot of times they got to get to that process to get to themselves, because a lot of times it's mental illnesses that happens too that makes people become homeless, because a lot of times they lose jobs and that causes something going on. I remember this lady downtown when I was in Chicago. She was telling me her story. She said, I was a doctor and I lost everything, and she was there in the streets. So we got to stop thinking of homelessness as somebody that ain't working. Sometimes it's just somebody that's trying to get to themselves
Right.
and they don't know how sometimes. But for me, it was that getting to know myself and the rest of God. And I said, restoration. I gotta restore you back to who I want you to be, who I purpose you to be. I gotta restore you back to everything that you were, because I lost my strength. I lost a lot of things. I was just numb, just like I wasn't laughing, I wasn't talking. I was just I was disgusted, and God had to get me back to laughing and talking and living again, because I had to redo all of that. And well, I didn't have to, but He had to do it through me, relive, get back to that point of normalcy. So that's what I really connected to, rest in that journey. And then we had to go to the next journey, which is my sister house. It was restoration in my sister house, and my sister house was okay. Now you had got your rest. Now you're gonna start getting to moving and flowing in the things that you're supposed to do. And then they had this next program that was like with the working and doing the interviews and stuff. So because now that we got you to this place of better, of being better, now we got to get you out there to work. So it was an order to it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait. So, so I've heard your story before, but not like this. And so you say you went from homelessness, and God brought Mama Rose first to a place called Restoration House.
Yeah. Atlanta Mission. Yeah.
And then he brought you in there.
Yeah,
and the first thing they tell you to do in the midst of this transition, they tell you to rest.
Mm-hmm.
So you can get your mind together, so you can get your strength back, so you can get clear, so you can have focus. They told you to go rest. And from there, they help you into your next.
Yes.
And then you had momentum, and you went to the next program. They went to the next program, and then they went to the next program until you got back out to where you're working, you taking care of family, y'all back on your feet, you are resting, you're laughing again, you have your joy again. Wow.
And encouraging women. It was so powerful because it was like
you can speak.
Yes. Encouraging women, that was there, encouraging women that, I was talking to for day basis, but everybody was encouraging me. So it was building a community. It was building something solid. Maybe the fact that our families and other relationships can't embrace us because they don't know how to rest. They don't know how to be in that peace. It's because everything is chaotic around them. So when you come into the place with people that's in that rest and that peace, then you begin to work together because now y'all have better thinking. Because when you resting, you got to think your mind is healing. Your thinking is getting better. Your words should even be realigning because you're getting the substance that you need. Period. Period.
Girl. And that's what we talk about. That's the cadence right there. That's the missing piece. That's the missing element. Hello, that's the missing element because it seems like something so small. It seems like something that that's not really nothing, but no, that's everything. Resting and being still is everything. You get the opportunity for your sight to be clear. You can hear clear. Man, you know what you said something and it made me think about you had to get to, you didn't even have to get over to the other side yet. Sometimes you just got to get to the middle of the storm. And they say in the middle of the storm or the eye of the hurricane is peaceful in there.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just got to get to the middle so you can collect yourself. All right, let me catch my breath really quick. It's kind of quiet. Let me regroup before I have to venture through this other side to get on the other side and fight again. You had to find the peaceful middle to be able to be like, okay, let me get some rest so I can gather myself. And because all that noise going on around you, you can pick up so many things to where you start tuning stuff out. And if it's a bunch of chaos and if somebody's on the sidelines telling you exactly what you need to do. This is the way that you can get out. I need you to focus and do this and do that. Sometimes you can't hear that because it's so much noise and so much chaos. It is difficult to do that. But when you get to a place of rest, so you can kind of just shut down everything and allow your system to reboot, then you can really start hearing the voice of God again. Because God don't talk loud. Yeah. So you got to catch him in them whispers sometimes. You got to pay attention.
Yeah.
You got to pay attention to those people that they might not be screaming at the side of your face, but they talking to you and they talking good. Sometimes you got to quiet yourself so you can focus and pay attention on what's going on. You can't do that if you don't rest.
And not even good. Sometimes if you rest and you get your mind to a place where it's calm, you can hear the intentions of a person, because a lot of times they're telling you at the beginning of that, whatever that account is, they telling you at the beginning. But so many times we got our mind just rattling and all over the place that we can't hear. So that one sentence that we needed to hear, we didn't hear it, so we missed it. So now we found ourselves entangled with the wrong people, and we find ourselves in this chaotic relationship that we like, oh my God, can you deliver me? But you had to listen, so you wouldn't have to go that route. So it's like that helped me to reflect and hold on, what did that person say? I got to hear it again. And it made me, think about it until it played and say, oh, no, their intentions ain't right. Or it's the people that is, oh, them people believe for me. Them people have faith. Like you said earlier, if you don't have faith for me, I can't tell you my stuff. I can't, and you got to even watch the people that have faith for you, because everybody don't have real faith for you. So you got to be able to determine that and hear God on it.
Come here, Judas. Because Judas was out here rolling with the homies, had the same plan as everybody else, and still made the choice. To betray. But he had a still snitch, but he still had a part to play. But still.
You could alleviate yourself for some stuff if you just listen. And that comes from the place of my mind has to rest so I can understand. And sometimes I'll be like, huh, what you say? I ain't catch that the first time.
Right. Look, because I will press pause and run that back in a minute. I will do it in a minute on you. I need you to real quick. What you say?
Hold up, I gotta meditate on that.
I'll throw out. Let me pray about that, because I can't just be agreeing with everything. I don't know. Let me see what my father say. You can't be playing with everybody.
For real.
All right, T. So,
but I mean,
my last question for you then is, what advice would you offer to somebody that's trying to find rest while in transition? What would you say to somebody that's trying to find rest in transition?
I'm going to say this. Leave your worries behind. Leave those people behind. Even the ones you care about so much to your heart about to tear out. It's okay, because now we need you to think and focus on you right now. Because if you're not thinking and focusing on you right now, how are you going to become better? It's like being on an airplane and the plane is about to crash, right? And you got to get yourself secured before you can go and help somebody else become secure. God don't want you to help nobody, and you toe up from the flow up. I see so many people in ministry, they ain't deal with their stuff, and they were just in the spirit, and yet the natural person is failing. So being that part with God, where you can understand you and get a better sense of who your authentic self is, that's going to get you farther than what you can ever be, because now you're not swaying and waving to every wind and doctrine. You're not moving, so fast and quick into what people are saying, but moving fast and quick to what God is saying. and you get that betterment within yourself. Because when I started hearing God more, and I started getting understanding from God more, it started helping me to calm down. Even I may have those days, but those days are less than what they was when I was just listening to everybody, thinking I had to follow everybody's way. So I really feel like that's the advice that I have.
Oh, that's so good. That is so good. Get into what I heard you say was get into a place of rest and meditation so you can be 101 with God.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
so can't nobody else come in and influence um what's going into your ears and what's going into your heart and your body and your mind and your spirit. And so you can't get tripped up, you can't get tricked, you can't get bamboozled by
yeah,
any and everything, because it's a lot of it going on right now. It's
yeah.
a lot of it going on right now.
Cause you gonna get those red flags. It's gonna, you know how you hear that emergency alert, and it's gonna be like that. Oh, something ain't right,
Right.
because now you at a place like I'm so connected with God that He's just telling me, or He's showing me, or giving me some type of sign. You gotta pay attention. You gotta
Mm-hmm.
pay attention. To the things that God has for you to pay and do in that time, and experience in that time, because a lot of even okay, I want to say something on the strength of Israel, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in the strength of Israel, they asked God for something, right? In prayer, they prayed the thing, but they wasn't ready for what they prayed for. So God still came and helped them and delivered them, but they still wasn't ready for what they prayed for. So ask God to get you ready for what you're praying for, so that you can go and dominate that thing, and have good holy boldness in that thing. Because even in the midst of everything, they still want to revert back to the Egypt. They still want to revert back to all the things that God was trying to bring them out of. And they put themselves back into something because they wasn't prepared for the readiness to deal with being delivered from Egypt. So whatever you asking God to help you with, or help you through, be ready for it to happen, because it's going to happen one way or another. It's going to happen, but are you ready for what you prayed for?
She said, while you're resting in transition, are you prepared for what God is about to do in your next? So rest well.
Yeah,
Rest well.
yeah. Because in my
Ooh.
wilderness experiences, I took it hard. I was angry. I was miserable. But it was some things that I needed to get off of me. God needed to get off of me. There were some things that was in me. I had pride. I had attitude. Anger issues. I had all these type of things. Like Jonah. Jonah didn't want to help the people because they destroyed him. They talked about him. They lied on him. They did everything, and he didn't want to help them. And God was like, "What about when I take you back to some people to help them, because they're struggling? I need you to go carry a word to them. What are you gonna do now?" So you got to let go, and all those things is going to stop you from going to your next, because this all connected to so many great and wonderful things, and some trying things, but it's still going to help you to go forward and not backwards. Because you got to think about it. It's going to hurt whether you go backward or forward, so you might as well go forward, because then you got to cover it. When you go forward, you got to cover it. But when you go backwards, that grace may run out. That mercy may run out, because God done told you several times, and you've been swaying back. Because I was swaying back and forth for a while. I was in and out of God since I was a young child. So you know what I'm saying. That last time God was like, "Now I need you to be I need you to be down. I need you to be 10 toes down with me this time, and not go back again." So yeah,
This is so good. It's so good. So not only rest well, but transition well. Don't fumble the transition. Get everything you need to get in the transition, but keep moving forward in the transition. Move with the pace of grace. Don't dig your feet in and be like, no, I ain't trying to go nowhere. I ain't trying to. Let me just go back. There's nothing back there for
There's
you.
nothing there for you. Yeah. And if you slip and fall, get back up and go forward. Don't slip and fall and say, "Oh no!" Get back up and go forward. Even if you gotta crawl forward, even if you gotta push yourself forward, go forward.
Look, push it real good. Aaliyah said, "At first you don't succeed. Give yourself up and try again."
It's not the end of the world. I think Kim, for me, those was one of those things that I had to understand too in my rest. My rest with God is that if I messed up, it don't mean that that's it. God done with me because I messed up. I messed up again. Oh my God. Oh, I did it again. Okay, get back up. Repent. Try it again. Let's go. Let's get it.
Yes, listen,
he didn't ask for you to be perfect. He didn't ask for the one that was the wisest, the smartest, or the fastest. He asked for the one that was just gonna sit there and be with him and trust the process.
The one that is willing. The one that is willing. That's it. Just be willing. But in all aspects, don't pick and choose. Just choose the journey straight up. Don't pick and choose the different parts because you're going to miss something if you don't just pick the journey, go on this transition, and make sure you renew your energy so your transition is smooth. Make sure you rest when you have the opportunity. Just like when they tell new mothers, you rest when your baby go to sleep, you need to go to sleep. Rest while you have the opportunity to rest, because you might get to this next level and the rest might not be the same type of rest that is needed. This rest might be special right here during the transition to gain up all the strength that you need to get through the rest of this transition. But this next level, that rest might look different. So honor the rest wherever you are because you need it. Regardless of what area you are in your life, you need that rest. So take advantage of it because God has given it to us. We just got to receive it. Girl, this has been a dope conversation. I knew it would be. There was no question about it. What questions? I think I asked you 2 questions. That's it. Then we didn't need the questions. What we talking about?
That's how we do though.
That's how we do.
1-2 hours on a simple conversation that could have been 15 minutes. But it'd be 1 or 2 hours, girl.
Listen, but it's so good. And listen, y'all, I can't wait for Tomeka's book to come out. It's gonna be rich. Her story is so rich. I know there's parts of her story that I haven't heard yet, but I can't wait to get her book and just dive in to really see how God has showed up for her and her family. Y'all, so y'all make sure y'all stay connected. T, tell them what your socials are so they can stay connected to you.
So Facebook, you can find me on Facebook. I am Tomeka Carter. Instagram, I am Tomeka Carter. You can email me, even I am Tomeka Carter at gmail.com. You can find me there.
Yes, and y'all make sure y'all stay bonded, stay connected to her, connect with her. She'll let y'all know when her book is dropping. I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna put your socials and everything in the description of this episode so we can make sure everything stay connected with everything. Girl, listen, thank you so much for coming to join me on the Pause Pod, giving a word, giving a message, giving some encouragement out to the people to make sure that even though that we're going far, we don't forget to press pause and rest. So I thank you for showing up today. Thank you for coming to hang out with me in the Pause Pod. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you, and thank you for inviting me, girl, because this was well needed, even on my end.
But I needed this too. So this the first time, but it won't be the last time. So stay ready. But I already know you stay ready. So there's no point in telling you that. You stay ready anyway. So y'all, until next time, make sure y'all come back and join us on the next episode of the Pause Pod. Until then, y'all make sure y'all rest. Peace.